Arne, well done. What a mix of emotions, a lot of frustrations with the amount of chances you guys were creating and not able to score, but finally 2 goals. So how can you sum it all up?
You almost did this for me. It had a lot of similarities with our game on Tuesday when we played Forest. So many chances, so much better. Although I think today Brentford had more counter-attacks and was more of a threat than Forest was on Tuesday. But again, it looked as if we didn't get what we deserved, in my opinion at least. But in the end, we were able to score 2. And now I don't only have to talk about the performance, but I can also talk about the result.
What was it about the way they were defending that was making it so hard for you guys to take these chances? Because you mentioned the similarities with Forest. Was there any similarities in this sense?
Yeah, it's not that these two teams are the same, because Brentford is also pressing high. They take the risk of going man v man, where Forest is for most part of the game going into a low block. But Brentford also drops into a low block if necessary. And then, yeah, if you get a chance with 5, 6, 7 or 8 bodies inside the box, or you get a chance with only 1 or 2, that is, of course, a difference, because there's always someone that is throwing himself in front of the ball, closing a certain corner where you prefer to hit the ball. And that is part of our game, because we always dominate possession and we like to dominate possession. But yeah, the spaces are really tight then to score your goals.
Darwin Núñez.
What a finish. How good does that feel?
Very good, very good. Obviously, I think a well-deserved victory. Clean sheet, tough place to come, and on to the next.
I know it's only January, but does that still feel like a big, significant result?
Every win is a big result, especially when the teams around us are very strong. They obviously strengthen themselves as well, probably. So we have to stay consistent, win games, and perform well.
Tell us about the goal scorer, Darwin. How pleased are you for him? How much does he deserve moments like this?
Well, you have to earn these things, and I think obviously as a striker you get judged on goals, and especially at a club like Liverpool, and obviously today he put his mark on the game with the 2 goals, and very important. So that's what we need. We need everyone at their best, contributing to good success, and today it was his day.
You say you need everyone at their best. Were you at your best for that first 90 minutes of this game as a team?
I think so, yeah. Don't you think so?
37 shots and, you know, just needed injury time to get over the line.
Well, if you are very analysed well, then obviously Brentford away is a very difficult place to come. They have a very clear structure. Obviously, you try to break a low block down at times, and if you lose the ball, sometimes you can get a counter-attack around you, and you have to defend that in the best way possible, and I think we did. Obviously, they created some moments, some danger moments. I think they create those kind of moments against any team in the league. But we handled it well. We created many moments as well, and could have scored more. But we take the 2-0 and move on.
You've won titles before. This time of year, you don't win titles. Is it all about sort of getting through, scrapping your way through, finding a way always?
No, it's trying to play your best football ever, every game. You try to perform in the best way possible, and every game I think is a very difficult game. There is no walk in the park, if people want to say that, because every game teams are very good, and they want to play their best game against us as well, like always. Like we want to play the best game against the opponents, and every game will be a difficult one. And I think if nobody is ready for a bumpy ride, then this season will definitely be one, and hopefully we'll be consistent in winning games and enjoy ourselves as well. And because if you don't enjoy the ride, then it's a difficult score. Sorry.
Looks like you enjoyed it today. Very well played.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Virgil.
Cheers.
For all the mayhem and the celebrations on the pitch, off it with Virgil, very calm.
He was excellent again today. He defends really well. He's very clever, isn't it? He very rarely goes to ground. He ushers the forwards, wherever they are, away from the goal, shutting angles down and then trusting his goalkeeper. So there were moments where Brentford attacked, counter-attacked and got chances, but you didn't feel as if they were ever in any danger, Liverpool. I always felt it was just a matter of time. And listen, they were a little bit fortunate in the end because the goals come so late. But when you've got fresh legs like a Harvey Elliott, like a Curtis Jones, a Núñez, a Andy Robertson come on, a Chiesa, they just overpower you. They just wear you down in the end. And it was, I thought it was well deserved, even though people will speak about, you know, how the goals came eventually and how late they were. But Liverpool were by far the better team.
So the headlines in the end will go to Darwin Núñez. He came off the bench in the 65th minute. In the 91st, with their 36th shot of the game, it eventually told the pressure then, Alan.
Yeah, Trent was brilliant. I mean, the way his first cross is blocked, but the way he reacts and picks Núñez out is just class. It really is, to have that vision and that ability to find him so soon after not getting the first cross to where he wanted it to go, and the reaction is superb, and it's a magnificent finish. As we said, he missed the header maybe 5 or 10 minutes before that, but he was no way he was missing that one. Exactly what Liverpool needed.
Quick thinking from Trent, wasn't it? With that second.
He was brilliant, and I hope you know, people give him the credit he deserves, because they were quick to criticise some of his performances, certainly the Manchester United one when the team wasn't great. But since then, his response has been excellent. Brilliant against Tottenham when he's played, excellent against Accrington Stanley when he scored the goal. Brilliant again this evening. And it's important that the Liverpool players step up. Mo Salah hasn't been at his best this last, 3, 4, 5 games. But it doesn't matter today because it's glossed over, because another centre-forward comes on and gets his goal. So when someone's struggling, like a Diaz or like a Salah, not in their best moments, at this moment in time, you've got a Jota, you've got a Núñez, you've got a Gakpo, you've got a Trent, who then they lift their games.
Chiesa as well coming on.
Chiesa coming on, fresh legs, wants to attack, wants to run forward. And they ran forward a lot of substitutions. So when you run forward past the defenders of the Brentford team, they end up start dropping deep and deep and deep, and that just creates a little bit more space. So I thought they were excellent. They all played the part, particularly for the second goal. I know they countered, but even then, Curtis Jones makes a really good run forward, and it just causes chaos. You know, this is Mo into Chiesa
involved here.
Chiesa into Elliott. All the subs. Look at Curtis Jones' run. He takes another defender away, opens the pitch up. I mean, it should be fair to standards. I'll tell you, the centre forward, that's an easy finish for him. But still, it's Liverpool busting a gut to get forwards and get numbers and get overlaps, and they get the rewards.
They smell blood now, don't they? They got the first goal and they hit them on their counter-attack. Brentford have to commit men forward, which leaves them empty at the back, and the way Liverpool sprinted forward and the numbers that they got forward, and that's a really clever finish. He's full of confidence now with the first one. Head down, hit as hard as you can, and keeper's got no chance. Game over, 3 points.
Yeah. It's always eventful, though, isn't it, when Darwin Núñez is involved? Now, you may have noted he got a yellow carded, actually, after his first goal. He took his shirt off as part of that celebration. And knowing that, we see this, where he catches Nathan Collins a little late. Is he a bit lucky not to have got a second yellow?
Well, of course he is. You know, it's 93, 94 minutes. He's scored 2. He's got a yellow card. Why? I mean, why is he even thinking about diving into that challenge? But this is the package that is Darwin Núñez. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever way you take it, he does mad things like that. You knew when he come on today after 65 minutes, he would get a yellow card today.
Yeah.
It's just part of his nature. He can't stop diving into challenges. He can't stop looking at players and wanting to be physical, like when he came on against Manchester United.
Yeah.
That's just, you have to take it or leave it with him. He misses chances, he scores chances, he gets yellow cards, he batters people. It's just the way he is. He's a full-blooded South American who's still... You can't say he's still learning, because he's been at Liverpool now nigh on 3 years, but he has to temper that anger in the right way.
Was he fortunate, Alan?
Yeah, I think he was fortunate, yeah. I mean, there was so many challenges I've seen like that being given a yellow card. So with him on 1 yellow card already, he was slightly fortunate, absolutely,
Yeah. OK. Let's go to the 2 other games that have also come to a conclusion in the Premier League. There's a London derby in East London.
Of today's 3 p.m. kickoffs were 0-0 at half-time. They all finished 2-0 to the away team, but none were as significant as what we've just seen the last few minutes of this match between Brentford and Liverpool. And let's start giving Darwin Núñez his moment again here, Shay. We can have a look at the winning goal, the first of his 2 winning goals.
Yeah, and the 91st minute as well.
Yeah.
So it was a late show from Liverpool. I think they got a bit of luck, actually, when it comes to Trent for the second time. I mean, Trent does really well initially, and Harvey Elliott done well off the bench as well, as Kenny rightly says. But he gets a bit of a break there, Trent Alexander. And also, you know, Darwin Núñez, sometimes you see him taking too many touches inside the box. I think this suits him more than anything when he's got more time on the ball. He just nothing to think about. He just hits it first time, and obviously we all know the goal never moves. But what you would say, he did get booked on the back of that as well. So when he scored the second goal, I was thinking, well, don't take your top off, please, because you'll get your marchers. But again, you know, Trent, we talk about Trent defensive sometimes as one thing, but when he's balls into the box, his delivery is brilliant. It's a fantastic finish.
Yeah, it's great reactions from Trent, actually, to be honest, because the initial cross is blocked, but very quickly he's got a clear picture of what he wants to do. That's deliberate, that ball that's just popped back to Núñez. And I agree with Shay, with this centre forward, less thinking time is better. All he has to do is make good contact with the ball. Yeah, huge moment, and him and his staff know how big a moment that could potentially be in the context of Liverpool season.
But he knows how well his substitutions are working out in the last couple of games as well, doesn't he? Just everything he's touching is turning to goals.
Yeah, well, he is. We can't heap probably enough praise on him, how he's carried himself since he's come into the football club. Small tweaks that he's made in terms of generally Liverpool's style of play, in terms of the upturn we've seen individually from players all over the pitch. He's been really smart, and when he's been needed in terms of the in-game substitutions, he always seems to make an impact.
It was Núñez again, just a couple of moments later, putting the seal on this one.
Yeah, well, we've just spoken about him, like, no thinking time. Well, he has a bit of thinking time. Thinking time in this one.
He thinks I'll just smash it past the goalkeeper is what he thinks.
Yeah, there's a massive overload here. No criticism of Brentford here. They're chasing the game 1-0 down, seconds on the clock. Actually thought he should have played Curtis Jones and doesn't. Plays it over to Núñez, and this is real composure. I don't see a huge amount of this from Núñez in terms of actually taking the first touch. But it's not just about taking the touch, it has to be perfect. Just needs to cushion that perfectly. That gets away from there's a tackle coming in and he doesn't score. So give him credit for that. You know, we're talking him down a little bit in terms of you can't have too much thinking time. Invariably, you know, he hasn't got that quality in terms of his finishing, but he showed it there.
And his run was clever as well. He kind of dropped
I think really mentioned Connor as well. He just scored a goal as well 2 minutes earlier. So as a striker, you know, your confidence is flying, and he took it really well. Like it's a rocket past the goalkeeper. Oh, and it really is. He's got no chance. And at this point, we're saying don't take your top off, because you can imagine the emotions and the excitement running through his veins at this point in front of the Liverpool fans as well.
Well, you were saying don't take his top off. He didn't take his top off, and then he very nearly got himself sent off anyway before the end of the match.
I think he's very lucky.
His toe off.
Yeah. No, I think it was Nathan. Was it Nathan Collins? Maybe perhaps here. I think Nathan goes to clear it, but again he stamps on his foot, and I think he's very, very lucky. I think the ref says, look, he stamps right on the top of your foot. Any other time, that's a yellow card, and obviously being booked for his celebration. Even Arne Slot, his reaction is like, tell you what, we're lucky. I think we got away with one, and I'm kind of happy for Darwin, because
I don't want to rain this parade too much, but it would have been peak Darwin Núñez to then go and do something. Get even more headlines like that, wouldn't it? VAR can't intervene, by the way, in case people are wondering. For a second, they can't give a second yellow. They could upgrade a yellow to a red, but they can't give a second yellow.
Yeah, but it's typical of him, isn't he? He got the 2 goals. You understand the emotion, like he's buzzing, but he just needs to calm himself down at time, a little bit more ice cold in his approach to the game, and a lot of different facets to his game. But I wouldn't talk him down too much. He's stepped onto the pitch today, had a huge impact for his team.
You were saying Brentford, that you felt Brentford were in it for large periods. They had their chances.
Yeah, they were. Just the quality, got into some great areas of the pitch, last third of the pitch where you want to be, got some real sustained pressure on the Liverpool goal. But just when it needed that little bit of kind of calmness and the right decision making, just wasn't there. And Boomer here 1v1 against Sloppy. So like, get your head up, just take a picture of the situation around you. As soon as he checks inside, it's an easy interception for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Put crosses into the box, threw players in there. A little bit unfortunate on occasion, maybe ball not ricocheting for them. This is another good chance here in Buemo. Has he got the confidence to take on Van Dijk, drag it onto his outside shoulder? No, scuffed cross. Shot into the goal. Again, 1v1, little step over, a little bit of magic here. It just stands it up to the back, but that's a decent enough header. So I'm just talking, got into these areas so often with that little bit of individual brilliance, or the ability of somebody to stay calm and make the right pass, the precise pass to put a teammate in, wasn't quite there for Brentford.
Shay?
Yeah, I mean, he huffed and puffed, and you see Thomas Franklin's tactical board after the game as well. He'd done the lap of honour.
Yeah, he took his time on the pitch.
The only thing was disappointing, they got in really good positions. It's just that the final pass or the final shot just wasn't there, so that'd be frustrating. But Brentford at home this year been great value for money, scored so many goals. So I just think today they were just shy in front of goal.
Liverpool weren't shy in front of goal, certainly weren't shy in taking shots. They had quite a few chances, half chances. We can have a look at some of these in a second.
Yeah, I mean, Brentford, we said at half time, we're sitting very, very deep, getting bodies behind the ball, and I suppose Liverpool resulted in some long range shots. This one not so. Obviously Sob was like getting into the box, but again they were the game was getting a bit stretched, I suppose, it went on. We had a Nathan Collins package, because I felt for Nathan today. He played really, really well. He comes off the back of a 2-0 defeat. I mean, Flecker makes a good save as well. I'm not really that happy about Diaz here, trying to look for a penalty.
But it wasn't a penalty,
no, it's poor from Diaz. You can see he's looking for a penalty, and I don't like to see that from any player, really. But again, this is Darwin Núñez with the header, brilliant ball in from the other substitute, Robertson. And again, you know, it's a chance this time. Gakpo sort of fluffs these lines, and you think it's going to be one of them days on at this point. You know, missed chances. This is Trent Alexander-Arnold. What a brilliant striker of the ball he is. Very, very close. But again, they're getting a wee bit desperate. Salah had one of his quieter afternoons, not just gone wide of the post, and it just felt that it was going to fizzle out to a 0-0. And again, we had a Collins piece up our sleeve, because he actually played really well today at the back.
You'll never know how close he came to having a package today.
The adulation of this hysteria.
Will this result filter through to the Arsenal players, do you think, who are playing Villa now?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly filtered through to the Arsenal supporters. Yeah, I still think this is a big day. I still believe it in terms of the result at Brentford and also at the Emirates. Just huge pressure on Arsenal in that split second when Núñez put that ball in the net. All of that kind of pressure is just heaved onto the shoulders of those Arsenal players against Aston Villa. Yeah, I think this potentially is a big moment in this season. Liverpool haven't been perfect all during the season, and it's a little bit of a... When you look at them this season, when they've struggled for periods in the games, they just find something. They just seem to pull together and find a solution. And they've done exactly that today. I just like the togetherness, the camaraderie. Everybody's chipping in. It's not the 11 on the pitch. Substitutions coming on. Everybody's delighted for each other. You just feel as if this is a group of players that's totally together. And with the quality they have in the squad, they're obvious favourites to go and win this title. I'm not going to hand it to them in a position.
But if Arsenal were even to drop 2 points tonight, if they're to draw against Villa, which would be by no means a disgraceful result, you know, that would be significant allied to Liverpool's victory today.
They've got to take care of their own business, Arsenal. Yes, they would have loved Liverpool to drop 2 points today, but they have to focus on the game this evening. They have to win the game. I think not that tells you they can't afford to lose any games anymore, but if Liverpool keep going the way, they have to lose three games. So I can't see Liverpool doing that. Arsenal cannot afford to drop any more points. I think Arsenal have to strengthen actually in January, if at all possible, in the forward area.
OK, we got to go now. Leinster are playing Bath in a few minutes' time. Our coverage of that is starting after the break. I know Kenny's going to be looking out for that one. Shay's already done the hype job for the Champions League during the week, so we'll talk to you on Tuesday night. And in the meantime, take care. Good luck.
And we'll go to Boydie on that, because for a long time, Boydie, you thought, well, despite all the chances, I mean, Liverpool had 37 shots today. It's the most by any side in the Premier League this season. But it just didn't look like things were going to click. And then they did click for Darwin Núñez. At times, a bit of a malign figure at Liverpool. But my goodness me, when it mattered today in a game that looked like being a third draw in a row, he delivered.
Yeah, he did. I think when he came on to at the start as well, Andy Robertson fired in a lovely ball, found himself in the middle of the 6-yard box, free header, puts it past the post. And then the first one is just Trent Alexander gets down Trent Alexander-Arnold gets down, fires a ball across, gets cut, and then he puts it back across again. And there's a lot of bodies in and around him, but he's composed, he gets to the back of the net. And then the second one as well, Liverpool in the breakaway, and you just think Elliott's coming inside, he's got to get a shot, pass it to him, hit it first time, no, takes a touch, comes in and just fires it into the roof of the roof of the net. But then he should have been sent off as well. I mean, Mike, that just sums him up. He had a late tackle after that. He's already been booked for taking his top off. He then catches him. It should have been a second yellow card. So, I mean, the 35 minutes he was on, it had absolutely everything. So the 25 minutes he was on, he had absolutely everything. But Liverpool won't care. It was an opportunity for... the other ones probably looked at it as an opportunity to maybe drop points, especially Arsenal when the longer it went on. But Liverpool found a way to win the game.
Was it a second yellow for you, Mike?
I think it could have been. He's caught Collins late on the side of the ankle. I would have been surprised if it had been second yellow, but I think we said before the show, he just comes on, just causes problems, doesn't he? Gets stuck in, and I think he runs a risk sometimes, but he got away with one today, in my opinion.
He provides entertainment, that is for sure. Today provided the right kind of entertainment in terms of goals. Up until that moment, they'd had 6 shots on target, and he scores with their last 2 shots on target. They made heavy weather at the time, but getting a win at Brentford, yes, they've not been in such that rich vein of form at home in recent games, but it's been such a tough place to go this season and pick up something.
Yeah, it has. And you only need to look at, Manchester City went there during the week and 2-0 up, and Brentford still find a way to come back and get a point there as well. But I think you've got to give Brentford enormous credit as well in terms of the way they cause Liverpool problems, but Liverpool find a way to win games of football. That's why they're top of the league. You can see everybody's delighted for them, but when you come on, you get 2 goals, you have the impact that he did. you know, I honestly thought we'd be absolutely delighted because the game was just starting to, you know, you asked me, is it going to be a winner? And it was just starting to drift. The substitutes had came on and, you know, they had made an impact, but it was starting to just drop off again. But, you know, you've got to give Liverpool credit. They just keep going and going and going. And, you know, that man will be absolutely delighted. He said, Chiesa, I thought he might have been offside, but obviously he wasn't because he's coming back into play, but he's obviously got back just in time for the goal, the second one. But Arne Slot will be absolutely delighted that they've just managed to go to a tough place. They played well enough. They had loads of chances, but it looked as if it was just they were going to leave with a point. But you know, they find a way, and broke Brentford's hearts at the end. That's for sure, because they put in some effort as well.
And also significant in terms of the complexion of the title race, because had it ended up a draw, then the gap is 5 points. Saturday night football, if they can get the win against Aston Villa to narrow it down to 2. Yes, they have that game in hand, but suddenly a very different complexion on the title race. That was massive for Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you're Arsenal and you're just about to start a game of football, we've all been there when you're looking at your challengers and think, well, maybe today's the day they're going to drop more points, but it wasn't to be. And now all of a sudden you've got to get yourself and go and win a difficult game against Aston Villa. So I mean, you look at Liverpool, there was opportunities. Brentford did have opportunities, but overall, Liverpool did deserve to win the game in terms of the chances they created. But the longer it went on, you just felt as if maybe they're not going to find that opener. But take nothing away from Darwin Núñez when he came on. A threat, caused problems, gets 2 goals. That's him up to 4 for the season. And you look at, obviously Jota came on, scored during the week. He was out injured. The substitutes are having an impact. Mo Salah didn't score today.
How did he look overall? Because at times against Nottingham Forest midweek, he cut a bit of a frustrated figure. What kind of game did he have today?
It's one of those ones where you see him having a lot of them. I mean, he wasn't really involved in the play, but could easily have walked away with 2 or 3 goals because he comes in, it's as if he's nowhere to be seen, and then just drifts in the pitch, and he had a few opportunities. There was one in the box where you're thinking, shoot, and he tried to pass it as well. But he had a couple of opportunities going off that right-hand side and tried to bend it in the far corner. One that was really, really close, but we passed Flecken's far post. But I think overall, look, when you've the substitutes came on and scored goals, you look at the strikers and think, they've obviously not done what you'd expected from them today. But overall, the amount of chances that Liverpool created, could have scored more. They won't really bother about it. They've found a way to win another game of football. It's another one ticked off. They're back to 7 points clear at the top of the table, and it's over to Arsenal and Nottingham Forest now as well.
Yeah, and Sidders, there's absolutely no way that the Arsenal players aren't aware of what has just happened in West London before they get underway against Aston Villa. Does that change the complexion within the dressing room ahead of their game, or they're just solely focused on what they have to do tonight, whatever's happened elsewhere today?
Well, they've got to take care of their own business, isn't it? That's what you do. It puts pressure on it because you know now that you need to keep up with them. But that's what it's all about. When you're at the top of the table, every point drops, every loss, every win, it all counts. But they'll know what they'll need to do. And, again, they're behind a relentless machine. They've been in that situation the previous seasons with Manchester City. Now it's Liverpool. So they've got the experience of doing it. But they've just got to keep disciplined, create chances when they can, and be clinical.
So we're at half-time in our feature match on Goal Rush, and Brentford, so far at the G-Tech, are holding the league leaders Liverpool at bay, despite the fact that Arne Slot's side have had 19 shots on goal, 5 of which have been on target, and yes, the XG points that they should be up at this stage of the game, considering the kind of chances they've had. It doesn't feel like it's been a game where they've had 19 shots, does it?
No, 5 on target, but you can't really remember. I mean, the one shot I think about is Slobber's lay it in the bar, and that doesn't count really. It was a shot, but it's not on target. Liverpool have dominated possession. They've been comfortable, but I still think they're slightly laboured. I think they need to step up a gear again. They've had lots of possession. They've had plenty of balls into the penalty area. Mo Salah's attacked the fullback a number of times, but the final ball is just lacking today. Maybe in the second half they'll improve because they have done that of late. Yeah. But they still need to jump up a little bit if they're going to get a result today.
Brentford will take it at this point, won't they?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They've not really played well at all, Brentford. They've offered a small threat on the counter-attack. They've had one decent opportunity, but for a slight deflection. But other than that, Liverpool have had a couple. Gakpo's one as well. But other than that, they've not really done enough with what they've had in the game. They've had plenty of shots without causing too much of a threat.
So before we have a look at Gakpo's effort, let's have a look at Dominic Szoboszlai's long-range effort. And I suppose this kind of sums up Liverpool at the minute. This was more hopeful more than anything, Steve.
Yes,
this is where they've lacked conviction.
It just opens up, doesn't it? That's all. So he has to go forward and take the shot on, and he can do that. Of course he can. But you're more than happy for him to have 25-yard shots, aren't you? Flecken is. They always get lots of men behind the ball, Brentford, if you allow them, and that's what Liverpool have done. They've been slow. They're better when they attack with pace. This is a lovely ball from Gakpo. And this is when Liverpool are at the finest, when they're breaking forward. And you think this is going to end up in the back of the net, but he just gets it wrong, doesn't he?
I think he should run onto that with his right foot rather than let it wait to come onto his left foot, because he just allows the keeper to gain that little bit of extra time in closing him down by letting it run across him. If he runs onto it and hits it with his right foot, then the time for the keeper slows down, and then the chances are much better when, I think, running onto it rather than waiting for it to come onto his left foot.
Yeah, there was only one way he could finish once he lets it roll across his body to lift it. But if he runs on with his right, as Al said, he can even take a touch around the goalkeeper, but he gives himself more options.
So talk us through this, Al. Just as the ball's coming across, rather than take it early.
Yeah, rather than wait to come to his left, if he runs and attacks it and hits it with his right foot, the goal opens up. He's got more of the goal to hit. And because he waits that split second for it to come across to his left foot, that then allows the goalkeeper just to close him down that little bit more, and he can't get the connection that he wants, and it's from a tighter angle.
Yeah, so decision-making really in those crucial moments is costing Liverpool, but also, are they being funnelled infield a bit more, Liverpool, where there's a lot of traffic to get through?
Yeah, and that's just the way they play. Gakpo's tried to stay out wide, but Diaz wants to go through the middle. They're forever chopping back inside the pitch, aren't they? You see Gakpo goes left and then chops right into the pitch. Mo Salah's forever coming back onto his left foot inside the pitch.
Yeah.
So they have to think about maybe if they can't get overlaps around the wingers, they have to start going the other way, just to get the defenders thinking, oh, he's going to go right now, he's going to go left. You have to change it round to get them on the toes a bit more.
Alan, you've already touched on the fact Brentford are playing on the counter. They've had one or two openings, not really clear-cut, but there is one here. Brian Mbeumo breaks free. I mean, this is inches away from being, I suppose, having contact at the far post.
Well, Steve mentioned it when we were sat watching the game. He's able to run in 30 or 40 yards without being challenged at all from where he collects the ball to sort of in and around the 18-yard box with no one getting near him at all within 3 or 4 yards, and he plays a lovely little ball in behind. It's just a slight deflection, isn't it? That takes the concentration, that little touch there, that stops him getting the touch in the middle there. But they have to be wary of that because they're good at it.
Yeah, Thomas Frank clearly felt that there was a good chance.
Yeah, it was a good chance, wasn't it? Vista just gets a little nick, take it away from Damsgaard having a tap in,
We know what you meant.
I know. Let's get there in the end. Damsgaard, no.
As things stand, Liverpool then.